Hey, my fellow Grey's Anatomy fans. Well, we all got the shock of our lives when episode 21 of the 11th season of Grey's Anatomy aired. Okay, in the previous episode, we all knew Derek Shepherd was missing, and at the end of the episode, police sirens appeared in front of Derek and Meredith's home, so we all knew something was very wrong. Okay, episode 21's story was basically Derek on his way to the airport, and on the way he sees a bad car crash, and he spends a large chunk of the episode basically keeping everyone alive. Help finally arrived, and all the victims are taken to a hospital, and Derek gets in his car and starts to turn around, presumably to head home, but gets distracted by his cell phone and is hit by a truck. Derek is rushed to the closest hospital, but they're not equipped for trauma patients, but they take Derek anyway. The hospital staff do their best to stabilize and treat Derek's injuries, but then hospital politics start causing problems. When a doctor that wants to take Derek for a head CT to check for injuries to his brain, but the lead surgeon decides to be all macho and decides to rush Derek into surgery even though he was stable and there was time to do a CT scan. While in surgery, Derek starts to have vital sign issues, and the doctors perform the wrong procedure, trying to locate the problem, and the lead surgeon finally remembered Derek had a head lack, and they check his pupils and discover his right pupil is blown, and they page the neurosurgeon, but it takes him an hour and a half to get to the hospital, though there is some confusion on the time frame if you pay attention to the clock. Anyway, while the neurosurgeon tries to save Derek, we are taken back to Meredith, and the police arrive and tell her there's been an accident. And here's a fake out moment which angered me, that I will talk about in a bit. Meredith rushes to Derek's room and he's awake and talking, and she gets on him and holds him, and everything seems to be fine, but it's revealed Meredith imagined the whole thing. The cops take Meredith and Zola and Bailey to the hospital, and we see Meredith in Derek's room, but two doctors are telling her they're sorry for her loss, and we see on the monitors that Derek is brain dead. Okay, a while later, realizing there is no hope, Meredith decides to remove Derek from life support, but before he dies, Meredith remembers their time together and tells him he can go, and Derek dies, and that's the end. Okay, where do I start? I admit what happened in this episode took me for a shock. I suspected something like this was coming, but I was not sure. I really liked the first 18 minutes of this episode. Seeing Derek saving 4 injured people by himself was really solid and showed just how badass the character can be. However, this is when things started to go downhill. First, we get a fake out thinking Derek was taken to Graceland Memorial, where Amelia was going to try and save him, but it turned out to be another patient, and instead Derek was taken to a hospital where they're not equipped for this kind of trauma. It was pretty obvious watching the events unfold that Derek was not going to make it. I think the cast of new doctors in the second half of the episode did a great job, but this did not feel like the right way for Derek Shepherd's life to end. I really liked the ending, seeing Meredith's reaction to knowing Derek was gone, and the solid emotional performance Ellen Pompeo gave, but Meredith pulling the plug without giving even Amelia a chance to say goodbye or any other of Derek's family felt wrong to me. And I also hated the fake out scene where they made us as the audience think everything was okay, having Meredith holding Derek. I felt this was a real betrayal to the fans to give us this kind of false hope. I really felt that Derek's death should have taken place at Graceland Memorial, surrounded by his fellow surgeons, and seeing Amelia trying to save his life. That would have been so much better than seeing Derek dying waiting for a neurosurgeon to arrive. I think the episode overall was good, and we as the audience got to see solid performances out of Patrick Dempsey and Ellen Pompeo, but I feel as a whole, this was a letdown for such an important character, and I feel Derek Shepherd's final episode should have ended very differently from this. In the end, I think this is a good episode, but it could have been so much better, and I also feel killing off this important character is going to heavily affect the show, and in the wrong ways. I truthfully don't know how much longer Grey's Anatomy has, but after seeing this important character be killed off, I'd say the show's future is uncertain. Well, that is my opinion on Patrick Dempsey's final episode, playing Dr. Derek Shepherd. I hope you guys will leave your own opinions on this, because I would like to see and respond to them. I will talk to you guys later. This is the Entertainment Wizard, signing off.